Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to She Boss Talk. I am Shantae Arati. Happy Friday to everyone. I am coming on with breaking news regarding stimulus updates and news reports. This is August the 20th. This is for entrepreneurs and small business owners who still need a financial lifeline for their business, still trying to recuperate from COVID-19, want to survive and thrive through this pandemic. This is for you. This is also for peers that you may know that are entrepreneurs and small business owners. So that's why I encourage you all to share out this video as you see it. Share it with someone, text it to them, email it to them, tag them in this video. That is very important because we know so many business owners are still not getting access to these programs or challenged to get the unstuck from these programs to be able to get the funding that they need. So that's why we appreciate you all for sharing our content that we share here. I would also ask you to like this video, show us some love, right? But that helps more entrepreneurs and business owners see this video across the different platforms that we are on. Again, come on in. If you're new, welcome. Drop a comment below. Let us know who you are, where you're from, and what your business is. I can't tell you how many businesses I have been able to meet and connect with during the pandemic. I thought I knew a lot of businesses before, but I have really had an opportunity to meet some amazing businesses around the country and around the world. I mean, you guys are amazing. So just want to give kudos to you all for that. Drop any questions that you have. I'll try to get to them while I'm on this broadcast. If I don't, I always follow up after the broadcast, as you know. Okay, so we have a lot to cover today, so I'm just going to get right to it. I really, off the start of the gate, I want to just talk about the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant. This is a $16.2 billion grant program that is being administered by the SBA. They have already approved and funded 10,800 businesses. Today is the deadline, absolute deadline to get your applications in. So if you know a small business that has a live venue, right? If they have a movie theater, an art center, an aquarium, a museum, or if they represent or manage live talent, live artists, comedians, musicians, they have an opportunity to apply to this program. There's still billions of dollars left in this program. Like I said, they've already funded just short of 11,000 for $8.4 billion. But again, this is a $16.2 billion program. So I would encourage you all just to share the information today with those that you know that are in the live venue space. And then if that is you, also to apply today. This is the deadline. Now, with that said, those that are in the pipeline that have been denied, you do have an opportunity to appeal, and they have factored that into the monies that are still available to you. So just with the other programs, if you're denied, you can go through a reconsideration process with this program as well. Now, in later this month, like in the upcoming days, the SBA is going to open up applications for those that have already been funded for the supplemental grant, right? So this program also has a supplemental grant where you can get 50% of the award amount. And we know this program is up to $10 million. Okay. This is one of the biggest programs. So combined between the first grant and your supplemental grant, you cannot get more than $10 million. Okay. So this has really provided a financial lifeline to those live venues that are out there. But we know because, they still have money left, that there are businesses that should be applying that have not yet. So hopefully you all get your applications in today, because this is it. After today, there's no other opportunity for new applicants to get an application in. They will just continue to process the reconsiderations and also move forward with those supplemental grants on top of that. With that said, I'm going to move on to the PUA. So the unemployment benefits are set to end. So we know 29 states, Republican states, had already exited the program couple of months back before the deadline. This was back in July. We know that there are currently lawsuits, workers suing some states because of that. We know I know at least one state that won the lawsuit, and so they have to reinstate those benefits. There's other states that are still ongoing, have lawsuits ongoing, but the Biden administration is not planning to extend it as far as what we've heard thus far past the September 6th deadline. We know that there are still 7+ million that are on unemployment benefits. Now, the Biden administration is encouraging state leaders to use leftover stimulus funds. And I'm asking myself, how do they even have leftover stimulus funds when there's still a stimulus to be provided to people and small businesses? So I don't get that, why there is any money left when there's still a big need out there and COVID is still on the rise. But nevertheless, he is encouraging them, if they have leftover stimulus money, then to use it to extend unemployment benefits to those states or those areas that have high unemployment rates, meaning that they will continue not only extending the PUA benefits, but also the $300 a week additional payments. So again, that's what he's urging, and also, advocates are urging with that as well. So we will keep you updated on how that progressed, or if there's any changes, if they do decide that they're going to extend it. But right now, it's not looking like that's going to happen. But they're encouraging the states to use those extra funds that they have specifically for those areas that may have high employment rates. Yeah, and just to let you know too, those unemployment overpayments are still going out. So if you've been one of the recipients of those, please do let me know in the comments. Those are for those that filed their taxes early before the change, which meant that certain individuals on unemployment would get a tax break, meaning that $10,200 of your unemployment benefits would be tax free. And so if you filed your taxes early, that meant that you would qualify for one of these refund checks. So that's great news for those of you all that have received that. The next thing that I want to talk about today is the rent relief. I think this is so important. This is a big topic of discussion. We know that there's an eviction ban. It had ended, and then the CDC extended the eviction ban. I want you all to know, please, if you know or know others that need rental assistance, this is a program for landlords and renters, and this program is administered by the states. I mean, I believe it's $48 million, $46 to $48 billion that has been allocated to this program that was given to the states to administer. So I've talked about this before, and how the states have been really slow moving and processing applications, or even providing the outreach to let residents know and landlords know that these programs are available. I do know here in Ohio we have the program at every level. It's at the state level, and it's also a program at the county level. So that again, if your state is rolling out these programs, they need to be, because the money is there. It's been made available to them by the federal government. And so I would encourage you, if you need rent relief, rent help, please reach out to your state. The simplest thing to do is just contact your governor's office and let somebody point you in the right direction as to the program and how you can get access to the funds. But I do know here, some of the programs have been slow moving, because under this program, you can get up to 12 months of rent relief. Okay, so these are not for people that have been good and you're on top of paying for it. There's different requirements that have to be, or qualifications that have to be met. But we already know there's millions at risk of being evicted. And even under the eviction ban, there are people being evicted every day. And there's been a lot of debates about this, but understand with a lot of these programs and processes, is up to the state. Every state is different. So maybe it's going great in your state and nobody's being evicted in your state, but that's not the case for other states, right? Or maybe the rules are one way and you're like, oh no, they can't be evicted. You don't know that for the next person. And not everybody follows the rules either. Okay. So, we don't want people to be homeless and on the street unnecessarily. And, it's not any fault of their own. And there's nothing to say. And people are like, oh, I can never. We were taught, oh, always pay your rent first before you pay anything else. People have been hit harder than they ever have during this pandemic. I mean, if you go back to the financial crisis of 2007, 2008, and how hard hit people were, people that were wealthy had never, ever been in shelters or food lines before, were in those food lines and shelters. So don't think it can't ever happen to you. You don't know people's particular situations and what they're in or what they're trying to do. Because I know even with the utilities here, I applied way back in January and still haven't received my full benefits, and my specialist is not responsive. So really, I've been on the front lines of this, so I know the types of things that are going on, like internally, and some of the breakdowns that are going on to be able to get the relief to the people that need it. But no, there is money that is available in even the landlords. So I know there's pushback on this eviction ban, but landlords, many of you are landlords, are small business owners. So you can get the relief for yourself and get that back pay that you need, that you did not get in the rent if you have renters that still have not been able to pay. And then, by the way, make sure you're letting them know that the program exists. Even if you have to go, to your rental property and hand deliver it to them and let them know, because not everybody, I tell you, is technically savvy. There's a lot of people that are not technically savvy. And it's a lot of these states administering these programs that aren't even technically savvy. They don't have the system set up to be able to administer them efficiently. But again, they are available. Check with your state. Start with your governor's office for that. But again, you're talking about $48 billion. And last I checked, only 12% of that has gone to renters and landlords. Okay, so that's where we are with that. I just want to announce really quickly that the SBA has announced new key staff that has been appointed. Over $40 billion in the Biden-Harris administration have been appointed to the SBA. The SBA not only is on the forefront of providing or administering these COVID relief stimulus programs, but they are for small business owners, like even prior to COVID. So I highly recommend that you get connected to the SBA. Check them out at sba.gov. That's where you can find information on all these stimulus programs and more. Non-COVID related funding, help with government contracting, help with business planning. There's all types of things that you can get help with. And then they have different arms. So they have the small business development centers, and they have SCORE, for which I'm a mentor with. So these are all, organizations that are available to help supporting you in achieving your business goals. So I would encourage you to get connected in your local area. I mean, just basically every community has these offices. And if you don't know where to find them, you can start at sba.gov to get connected where you need to. Okay. So then I want to just move on to the PPP program. There's big news here. We know that the Paycheck Protection Program is closed, but forgiveness is the big thing right now, is getting the small businesses that have been funded. And we're talking about millions of small businesses that have been funded through the Paycheck Protection Program, which is a forgivable loan. But we want that loan to turn into a grant, which is free money for you and your business, money that you do not have to pay back. Now, the SBA put out a press release, this is exciting news, because 2 weeks ago, they launched the direct Forgiveness Portal. And since that time, they have had a record number of submissions, okay, far more than they had even expected when they launched this, 340 submissions from small business owners that received loans of 150,000 and below. This was in an effort to really streamline the application process that was so complicated for a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners. The business owners that I'm talking to say that it's super easy. It is. I've walked through it in prior videos, and it is super easy. Over 1,200 lenders, PPP lenders, have opted into the portal. Now, you need to have opted in. Now, I've heard some people, I think a person yesterday stated that they reached out to Blue Acorn, and Blue Acorn said that they were going to be launching soon and they hadn't heard back, so they applied through the portal. I don't know if that will be sufficient or not, because your lender will need to opt in. But they will tell you if they can't move forward with your forgiveness, or they will tell you you need to go back to your lender. But every day new lenders are coming on board. Now, they say they have actually surpassed in the number of being processed. They surpassed the top 10 PPP lenders, right, that have opted. They're opted out, right, because they already have their systems in place and they've been really good about processing the loan applicants. So we know those top 10, really the bulk of their loans that they provided were to the larger businesses that make millions of dollars. Okay. Yeah, so of the ones that have been submitted, they have approved half. They're moving very quickly, and I explained my process the other day, and it went super fast. So 2 of my first draws were submitted, and within days it was forgiven. Okay, and I'm just waiting on one right now, and that's my second draw loan application, which went through my bank, and they have been keeping up with me on correspondence. So I'm looking for that to be forgiven soon. So as of today, through the direct portal alone, 2.4 billion has been approved for forgiveness. That's amazing. But even with that said, I'm gonna try to share my screen in just a second. There is, again, a significant challenge reaching those with smaller amounts of loans, under 150,000, but most specifically 50,000 and below, and those that received these loans in 2020. And I think it's important to take a look at the data. They recently released a report, forgiveness report. So we're looking forward to seeing this hopefully on a weekly basis, but just to show you the numbers. So I'm going to pull up my screen really quickly just to show you. But it just shows that, even with the loans that have been forgiven, the really micro businesses are not really getting their loans or they're not reaching out. They're not applying to get their loans forgiven. So we want you all to be able to do that. So I have it up here on the screen. Just going to walk through this and just discuss what is on the screen really quickly. And you can also find this report on the SBA website as well. They have a number of different reports. But this is the forgiveness platform lender submission. So this data is what is coming out of the direct portal, not the direct portal, but for the lenders and the direct portal, all of that data is here. And so we see that, 11.4 million loans were approved and funded for $792 billion. But of that, okay, forgiveness requested today is only 5,604,000. Okay, with 498,000 that has been forgiven, and of that has been forgiven, a total of 471,000 in change that has actually been paid. So that means that there are still many loans that need to be forgiven. Now, if you take a look, if we scroll down here, this is 50,000 or less. This is just showing us here a combined. This is 2020 and 2021 combined number of submissions by loan amount. We see that 2 million and above, they have already had 72% of those businesses submit for forgiveness. And as we go down, we see that it gets lower and lower as the amount. So like up to between 1.9 million and 149,000 is around the 63%. Well, when you get down here to 50,000, that's a lot, right? A lot that received less than 50,000, only 44.4 submissions of the 9 million that applied, which represents the most of the people that most of the businesses that apply for this program. You're talking independent contractors, 1099 workers, gig workers, self-employed individuals. These are the ones that are missing, that have not applied for the program. Now, this is even more important. So they're breaking this up between 2020 and 2021. So let's take a look at 2020. Same here, okay? So it's saying number of submissions in 2020 it have been 81%. If you have your loan in 2020, you took it out, you want to make sure that you meet the deadline, you get this forgiven before your first payment is due. I'm not as super concerned, although I'm concerned about 2021, but you still have time. In 2022, the 2020, the time is ticking. So again, in 2020, we have 81% of those with loans of 50,000 and below that have requested forgiveness. But we know the bulk of those in that category are in 2021. As you can see here, only 20% of those with 50,000 or less have requested forgiveness. And a big reason for that is because we all know is that many of these businesses were given an opportunity to get access late in the game. And then also in 2021 is when the calculation methodology changed, opening it up to more micro businesses that had either not been eligible before due to the calculation, or they had very little loan amounts, and those amounts were able to be increased. And so I just wanted to go through this so you could see the data here and know that although there are loans that have been forgiven of the smallest of small businesses, we definitely need to get the word out. We definitely need to do the outreach and share the information. Sharing is caring. We need to be sharing knowledge with other people, other small businesses. Not everyone is online. What about the mom and pop shops in your neighborhood? We have a lot of small businesses in our neighborhood, that you go in and you patronize all the time. Ask them, have you applied for PPP? Did you request forgiveness? That's what it takes, sharing of information, because so many small businesses, they may have applied, then they forgot, or they're just trying to really focus on keeping their business alive. Right? I talk to these businesses every day. So they may not even be thinking that they had to request forgiveness, or maybe they got misinformation, which so many did, and people were telling you that you could just get it automatically forgiven. You had to take no other steps. We don't want you to be blindsided, then get a notice in the mail, which you will, that says that your first payment is due. Right? So we need small businesses to really share this information with each other so that everybody can get the relief that they need. So that is the PPP Forgiveness Program. Just want to make sure that I didn't forget, miss anything else. But that's the biggest thing. Let's get those loans forgiven. I've had a few people reach out to me that they are still in the pipeline, and their lenders probably haven't provided an update if you were declined or not. But the PPP program is closed to any new applicants. The SBA were supposed to be done processing June the 30th, and then they changed that to, because they couldn't meet that deadline. Then they changed it to July 31st. We're in August now, going into September. So I really don't know of anyone that recently has been funded that was still waiting in the pipeline, and that's so unfortunate, because a lot of you all got stuck when they closed down and the funding ran out with your lenders that were non-responsive and that were supposed to actually relinquish you so you can apply somewhere else, and they may not have done that. That's really sad. So hopefully, if they don't extend this program sometime down the road, they'll add another program that will be able to provide that similar type of relief. I just want to mention really quickly that Small Business Week is coming up September 13th through the 15th. I'm always excited about this every year, and I'm always surprised to find how many small businesses don't know about Small Business Week. it changed during the pandemic. Is usually between late April and the first week of May, but due to the pandemic, they pushed it to later in the year last year, and they in accordance with that schedule, they're doing it again this year. So they have the Small Business Week Summit. And so I encourage you all to participate. It's free. You can go to the SBA's website and register to get involved. And do something in your own neighborhood, right? In your own communities. Over the last couple of years, I've done something locally, started the Small Business Week Extravaganza here where we live at. And then unfortunately the pandemic hit, so I couldn't do it. But I just love doing that because I got to get out in the community and spotlight small businesses. We had different contests and things, not only locally here, but even online virtually. We had big events like master classes and things like that. So I would encourage you all to do that in your area too. I mean, even if you can't do it in person, host a virtual event. It's just so many business owners that are isolated. We need to be connected to each other. We need to be around more like-minded people that understands what it's like to be an entrepreneur in small business. And I know business owners struggle with that. Right? Not everybody understands what it's like to be an entrepreneur in small business and the challenges that we go through and the roller coasters and, not being appreciated or people thinking we're crazy for taking the risk that we're taking. So you need other people that understand that and that can support and champion you and help you win, and you can help them win. That's what we need. And that's what we've been doing. With that said, I want to move on to EIDL. Okay, so that's the other important news is regarding the EIDL program, EIDL loan and grant programs. I want to start with the backlog because I mentioned that the SBA was working through a $600K backlog for EIDL loan modifications. These modifications were for increases to allow those that have been funded the loan to be able to get an increase based on the fact that the SBA increased the max to $500K. Okay, so we know that they're raising the max to $2 million because I reported on that earlier this week. We're just waiting on them to announce that. But they did have the backlog, and you're probably wondering, I'm still going through the process. They worked through the backlog. But you want to make sure that you consider a number of things. So more than 50% of those that they worked through the backlog were denied. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone that they worked through a process will turn out to be funded. So that's a significant number of those that were denied. There's also the population of those that are in the pipeline that are held up by the 4506 team, meaning your tax records, right? They're still waiting on your taxes, or you were denied because they submitted your 4506 T and it came back with errors or zeros, meaning that the SBA does not have your tax filing in their master file. Okay, so it could be those are just two of the main reasons that you could be still held up. And so we know that they added more specialists, they changed up their processes, added more to the management team to really get these moving as they close the PPP and as they close the restaurant revitalization grant. So they've really been speeding up. And I know a lot of you all have said that you got funded. So that's so good to hear, because I know many of you all have been waiting months and months and months and months to get that to get those increases. They are still processing the loans. Please know we're almost in September. These programs, the EIDL grant, otherwise known as the advance, and the loan are open through December the 31st. We do not know if they are going to expand it past December 31st of 2021. I would not wait. If you need the funding, I would encourage you to apply. So they're still accepting applications. So if you're new, you have not ever applied for the EIDL loan, you can apply for the EIDL loan as long as you meet the eligibility requirements as a small business, having 500 or less employees, and then you had to have started operating your business as of January 31st of 2020. There is also, as they're walking through that, they're finishing up the backlog. They're still working through processing those declines. So you decline, just request the reconsideration, go through that process, make sure you have information to back up your position to show that either there was an error in their decision or that you have rectified. So any errors that they found that resulted in the denial, that you have rectified those errors and providing that information that they need. I've said multiple times, one of the biggest reasons is unverifiable information. And so I actually have a video specifically on that. So we have a ton of explainer videos for these programs, but unverifiable information, either something related to your identity they can't verify or your business. So please go to their FAQs and read more. They updated these. I told you that's one of the improvements that they made to clarify what those denial errors are and what you can do to rectify those when you're requesting reconsideration. I also encourage you to reach out to your local SBA district office to get additional support as well. Now, I have been providing one-on-one consults for those that need help with the EIDL grant or loan, or helping you to overcome or the denial applying for reconsideration. But my calendar gets filled really quickly. But those are some really good sessions. So some people the videos are great, but some people need a little bit more hand holding, walking through. And I noticed sometimes I've had a few more older individuals in the past week. And so they sometimes have more technical challenges that they need assistance with. So if that's you or needing help to understand exactly what to do or how to fill out the applications, again, feel free. The calendar, my scheduler is in the show notes along with all the other resources that are available to you. The grants are still available. Now, I explained that with the infrastructure bill, they're trying. No, they're not trying. They did allocate to take money from the EIDL programs, and 17 billion of that from the EIDL grant. It has passed the Senate, so it has not yet been finalized. It has not passed the House yet. It's in the House. It has not been put up for signature. So until then, it's still a lot of money available. You're talking about $27 billion that's still available in targeted EIDL grants and supplemental grants. And then your business has to be in a low income community. And if you have a home-based business, that means your home has to be in a low income community. They have a map, the SBA, that you can plug your zip code or I would say plug your address, your full address in, and it will tell you if you are in the low income community or not. I'm thinking because they have such low response to those that are in low communities, we continue to advocate to expand outside of that. So I'm hopeful that soon there will be a decision made to expand. There's a process this has to go through. The SBA doesn't just expand it, right? There's a process, but that it will expand outside of low income communities. But here's the thing is why it's there is because most underserved small businesses are in low income communities, and it's hard to reach them. And they've been the hardest hit, is why they're trying to keep this open for those in that area. So I'd encourage you, if that is you, please apply to the EIDL program. You have to apply for the loan first. So if you haven't applied already, apply for the loan first, then you're invited to apply for the grant. And it's up to $15,000 that I know all of you all need, but you just haven't responded to the SBA's invites. You are not applying. So again, this goes back to, entrepreneurs and small business owners. Please ask them, have you applied to the EIDL program? Did you get the grant up to $15,000? Oh, you didn't? Go check out this video. Go to her channel, subscribe, and go apply at sba.gov/EIDL. Okay, I don't want them to take any more money or to just even go to waste. They close it, and every single business that needs the money didn't get it. And so we still fight for everyone that applied in 2020 to get the full $10,000, regardless of these additional requirements under the targeted EIDL grant. There were those of us that applied in 2020, and we were supposed to get it under the CARES Act law. That's the bottom line. So those businesses should have gotten it first. They should have had first dibs, if you ask me. and they still deserve to get it regardless of what community that they're in. But with that said, if the requirements are what they are right now, while we work on trying to get that change. So right now, if you live in a low income community, if you have 300 employees or less, and you can show that you had a decrease of 30% of your gross sales, business sales in a period in 2020 and that compared to that same period in 2019, you can get $10,000 or the balance thereof if you got partial grant last year. And if you could get the supplement of $5,000 if you're in a low income community, have a 50% decrease in sales, and have 10 employees or less. Okay. So I know there's many of you all still in the, you're in the process. Let me know if you have applied for the grant and haven't got it. Every day I'm hearing more and more people that have gotten the loan. But again, I know there's still billions of dollars out there. I think they've only funded at this point. We're now reached over $3 billion for the targeted. We were just shy of the last report, $1.9 billion for the targeted, and the supplemental. For the supplemental, there's only $5 billion. There's only $5 billion available for the supplemental, but there's still tons of money for you to get it, for you to be able to get it. So again, continue to share that information with others that you know. I would highly appreciate it, and they would appreciate it as well. You don't know how many businesses you've impacted just by supporting our content and sharing with someone and referring them to our channel or sending them to our email. You have really changed lives. You have really transform businesses, because I hear the stories all the time when they come back and say, look, I fought. You told me to fight. You told me to give up. I was ready to give up. You told me to go to the next step. You told me to contact my congressmen and women. I did that. They got involved. And next thing I know, my application was moved forward. I was approved and I was funded. So there's steps to this thing. It's a long process. Right. And it's been a struggle. It's been many challenges, but you don't give up on the process. You keep going to there's nothing else that you can do. Okay. And there's really always something you can do. You can continue to advocate. You can continue to petition. You can go to the news. You can get on your own YouTube channel. You can get on any of your social networks and call for change. Call for them to add more money for small businesses. That is how we've been able to get where we are right now, to get a lot of the programs changed, the laws changed, extensions happen through bills. Why? Because of small business using their power and their voice. That is how it happens. So just imagine if every small business that was watching right now went out and started taking action and going to these different platforms and then going to Twitter and calling, blowing them up. That's how you get them to take action. When you start bombarding them and there's nothing else that they can do but act on your behalf. But know that there are leaders, there are advocates, industry advocates that day in and day out that are advocating on your behalf. And all of these different industries that represent small businesses. And I appreciate that. Like the Association for Accountants, the Association for Restaurant Owners, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. There's so many that are out there fighting for us, with us. And then one of the last things I just want to mention is the Minority Business Development Agency has been one of the ones on the front lines of this as well. Under the CARES Act, I believe they received some funding to help provide some minority business centers across the U.S. There was unanimous agreement in the infrastructure bill to make this agency a permanent agency, to allocate more money to this agency to be able to provide more capital to minority businesses. We already know that minority businesses get so little of a capital out there. We know how the struggle is real to get access to traditional funding. So they're there to help get you access to more capital that you need to start your business and grow your business. Also, they're going to be helping you get access to more contract opportunities. And I mentioned that maybe about a month ago, that's high on the agenda. So by 2026, the Biden administration, the plan is to have 50% of contracts going to small business, and that includes minority-owned businesses, okay? And they're the largest procurer of goods and services in the world. So if you are attending my masterclass for the minority certification, you already know you're well on your way to getting certified and then leveraging that certification to get access to these grants to scale your business. You're talking about multi-million-dollar contracts that you're able to get access to. Multi-million-dollar grants through the federal government that you're able to get access to as a business owner. I don't care what type of industry you're in. You will be surprised at the types of products and services that the government buys, the government uses every single day that you would not have thought about. You're thinking about, okay, I, consult on this one person for $600 when you can be consulting with the same types of individuals with a corporate contract or government contract, providing, business development services or HR services. Or if you're doing hair, you're a barber, a salonist, or a stylist, you could be getting multi-million-dollar contracts through the federal government. Okay. But that's not it. At the state level, county levels, and city levels as well. So if you don't have, or if you're interested in certification, minority certification, I would encourage you to get our masterclass. It is in the comments. If you need grant money if you want to help increase your chances of getting access to funding, especially grant money, if you don't have our masterclass, get it. Our cheat sheet, get that. At least get the cheat sheet. It has helped thousands of businesses get thousands of dollars for their small businesses during this pandemic. And the grants are just going to keep coming online. Every single day there's a new grant, and we have it for free. I don't even request that you sign up on our email list to get it. You can just go to our COVID resource page on our website at www.shebosstalk.com, and we have a list of grants, accelerated programs, pitch competitions that all are giving away free money or helping you get to the next level in your business. So these opportunities are definitely out there, and I want to make sure that you're taking advantage of those opportunities for you and your business. Not to mention the many grants that are in your local area. I'm talking about your state grants. They've got federal money. Your counties and your cities, they are looking for you. I mean, many of these states have billions of dollars, but they cannot or have not had a significant number of small business owners apply for the program. And I told you last year about a lady verbatim followed my instructions and told me exactly what she did. She went to her county and discovered that they had a grant program. In 12 days, she got $20,000. So I know there's opportunities in your states, whether it's the government level or some organization or church, association in your local area. You all need to reach out to them. You have to be active. You can't take a passive approach when it comes to getting money for your business and just think they're going to knock on your door. I'm giving you the resources. I'm giving you the tools. I'm telling you where to go, but I can't go there for you. I can't fill out those applications for you because I'm running my own business. I'm applying for my own grants. I'm applying for my own pitch competitions. So that's how I've been able to secure free funding for my business and also qualifying for the forgivable loan and other programs. But you have to be active and you have to be proactive in getting your business properly set up. That's what I found that has been lacking with a lot of small businesses and small businesses that are not new to this, that just did not take the steps to properly structure their business, get bank accounts, right? Get an EIN to make it official in the eyes of not only the government, but other corporate businesses or entities that may want to do business with you. Right? There's just certain things that you need to do to get people to understand that you're serious about your business. And if they don't feel that you're serious about your business, you are high risk to them and they will not fund you. Okay. So we have been helping many businesses get alternative funding, $25K a day, same day funding or next day funding. I just funded an export company yesterday. I just had 7 businesses request contracts for same day funding this week. So there is money available, and this is to help you all that can't usually get access to that traditional funding You only need 450 credit score, 5K monthly sales. You need to be in business 6 months, have a business bank account in your business name, and an EIN, and you can get funding that you need. You don't have to wait, right? So while you're waiting on EIDL, you're waiting on EIDL, you can use this money to fill the gap. Or use it to do whatever it is that you need to use it on. There are no restrictions like it is with the SBA. You're restricted on the uses of your money, but there's no restrictions on this capital. So if that is you or someone you know needs capital now, just please share the links in our video. They're there to help support you. That's how people find me. They find me, the links are there, and then they apply. No hard pull on your credit. No collateral is required. And in the same day, you can have money to be able to do what you need to do. I am going to next week, just stay tuned. There's a lady, I helped her get funding last week. She owns going on 7 beauty supply businesses in California. So I'm going to have her on. She says she would love to come on, but just to show you what businesses can do and what they are doing with the funding that they have been able to get, right? Their business is doing well. They're making money, but they need more money to make money. Okay. She needed money to go buy another business, right? So again, there's no restrictions on the funding that we give. And when you give funding, you have to have a plan for it. You have to have a goal, and you want to multiply it. So how are you going to multiply the money that you got? Even if you got a loan, okay? A loan, like an SBA loan, have a plan for it. How are you going to multiply that money and double it, triple it, quadruple that money? If you have those plans in place and you execute correctly, you can do it. Okay. So we're not just one of these programs that just sharing the information. We're going to tell you how to go get it. And that's what we've been doing throughout the entire pandemic. So congratulations to all of you all that really have put in the work, that have persevered, been resilient. Shout out to you all that have started new businesses, that are taking the necessary action on behalf of your business. We want to see you all succeed. And any way that we can help support you in that effort, we're willing to do that. We're happy to do it. We've been doing it. Those of you that may want to collaborate, you can feel free to reach out to us anytime. If you need referrals of any kind, we have a expansive network. Feel free to email us at hello@shebosstalk.com. And if you're a woman in business and you need more visibility, brand awareness, we encourage you to take advantage of our spotlight opportunities, to be on our show, to guest blog on our platform for free. Guest blogging can really take your business to the next level. So we have a number of different options for you. Just visit our website, check those out, and we look forward to spotlighting your show in the near future. Thank you so much for tuning in. You all have a wonderful weekend. Continue to be the boss with amplified impact, and continue to stay safe and in good health. Have a wonderful day.